Alright, here's an update. This is where we got to last night. Body is not quite fit, but we're getting there. Need to adjust the wheelbase a little bit. But, it is under its own weight now, so that's good. The beams are doing beam things, so that's good. These are 90s. We may switch to hundreds. I have some hundreds over there, and I have some 110s. That'll just give us a little bit more down travel, obviously. But I don't know about the ride height. We'll see. Obviously, you can play with spring tension and preload and stuff, and we'll see how that plays into it. But so we got our rockalope rails, right? We have our domino shock towers that are asymmetrical because I-beams are asymmetrical. The driver side on the Proline kit is slightly forward than the passenger side. And then we offset the towers accordingly to clear the pivot boxes. I also added this bar in here, which is like the last thing I did yesterday. So I set in the servo plate and then added this bar. And this plate is not going to live here. This is coming out, and then I'm going to use one of my servo plates. We use these on our CMS buggies. So I'm going to use that servo plate in here, and we'll get that all set up. This is a newer product. You'll see these come out. This is the Builder's Belly plates. They come in a couple different configurations. There's going to be a very shallow one for like your power wagon builds for the most part. So there's going to be a shallower one. There's going to be a wider one, which is shown here, and there's also going to be one that's kicked up at an angle. So those are going to be something else added up to the website soon. Call them the Builder's Belly plates. And what's cool about these, and how I'm going to use them in this build, is I'm going to weld one of our tabs onto here, and this is going to become a double shear mount for our trailing arm. Right now it's single shear, and I've had zero issues with this setup. I've been running it on my Whoopacabra build for over a year now, but besides that, I've done it on many pre-runner builds. Single shear with a big spacer, no issues. It never gets hit because it's above the belly of the truck. It doesn't stick down, doesn't kick down at all. I've seen that design before, but it's flush. Anyway, so I know that this is pretty tried and true, driven and hard, and never failed me. So that's what we're gonna do with this, same configuration, but now that I have these builder boat sides, we're gonna be able to take probably a tab number 2 and just weld it right onto the belly of this. And this is going to bolt onto that, so we're going to make those, removable. And then aside from that, we'll probably take a piece of 3/16 square bar because the Cybertruck's very boxy. So we're going to have a square bar slider here, and then that'll kind of have our body located as far as width-wise, and then front to back. I'm going to just center it over the front wheels for now, and then I'm going to put on some shorter trailing arms. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video already, but I'm going to take off the bomber arms, and I'm going to use the Proline ones that come with the kit, because I think that should put this wheelbase about 13 inches. I know that the Proline kit is not intended to be a 13-inch wheelbase kit, but the Proline kit mounts the trailing arms more forward. I like them a little bit more back. This is just personal preference after building a bunch of these pre-runner trucks. And then let's see what we have to do shock-wise. So we're going to get the battery set up back here with one of our large battery plates. And do it in as tasteful a way as we can. So this bumper's coming off. That's just was on there. That's going to come off, and I'll see how tucked up we can get this axle into the kick of the chassis. And then once that's figured out, this is going to be literally right on top of that. So everything will be as tight and as compact as possible. We'll get into deleting these when we start our bed cage a little bit later today. And yeah, thanks for checking in on the update on the Cybertruck.